Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarakam Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaur Udaye Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthera Rambhakori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Safal Nija Vanchita Purana Jai Jai Kripamoy Jagatiranath Sarva Jagatira Koro Shubhadrishtipan Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padayarasha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Dasa Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Vanchakalpadharubhyascha Kripasindubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita Adi Lila chapter 7 entitled Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 5 features. And in this particular reading, we read till text 127 yesterday. We are almost towards the later end of the chapter. So we're going to resume from text 128. Hare Krishna. Pranava se mahavakya vedera nidan Ishvara swarupa pranava sarva vishwadham. Pranavase mahavakya vedera nidan Ishvara swarupa pranava sarva vishwadham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It's a fairly long purport, so we'll split in multiple parts. The Vedic sound, Omkar, the principal word in the Vedic literature, is the basis of all the Vedic vibrations. Therefore, one should accept Omkar as the sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the reservoir of the cosmic manifestation. Hare Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita 8.13, the glories of Omkar are described as follows. Om iti ik aksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran ya prayati tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim. This verse indicates that Omkara or Pranava is a direct representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if at the time of death one simply remembers Omkar, he remembers the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is therefore immediately transferred to the spiritual world. Omkar is the basic principle of all the Vedic mantra, for it is a representation of Lord Sri Krishna, understanding of whom is the ultimate goal of the Vedas, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedeshcha sarve ahameva vedya. Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand these simple facts explained in the Bhagavad Gita, and yet they are very proud of being Vedantis. Sometimes, therefore, we refer to the Vedanti philosophers as Vedantis. Vedantis, those who have no teeth. V means without, and Danti means possessing teeth. It's a humor here, Prabhupada is saying. Vedanti, they don't have teeth. That means teeth. The statements of the Shankara philosophy, which are the teeth of the Mayavadi philosopher, wow, are always broken by the strong arguments of the Vaishnava philosophers, such as the great acharyas, especially Ramanujacharya. So even in the pendulum story, we discussed that how the acharyas like Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya broke the teeth of the impersonal philosophy. Sripad, Ramanujacharya, and Madhvacharya break the teeth of the Vedanta, the Mayavadi philosophers, who can therefore be called Vedantis, toothless. As mentioned above, the transcendental vibration Omkar is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 13. Wow, Prabhupada is repeating this again. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. If one actually understands that Omkara is a sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whether he chants Omkara or the Hare Krishna mantra, the result is certainly the same. Interesting, right? The transcendental vibration of Omkara is further explained in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 17. 9.17. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksama yajurevacha. I'm the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I'm the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I'm also the Rig, Sam, and the Yajurvedas. Similarly, the transcendental sound Om is further explained in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 23. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidha smritaha brahmanastena vedascha yagyascha vihita pura. From the beginning of the creation, these three syllables, Om, Tat, Sat, that have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth, Brahman, they were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting the Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Since it's a long purport, maybe we'll take a pause here. And this whole verse is centered around the theme of Om or Pranava. And it's so interesting. Like now we may have laptops and search engines and database and stuff. But look at the brilliance of Prabhupada. He did not have those tools. He did not have, okay, let me find where is the word Om coming in the Gita, right? Or where is the word Om coming in the Bhagavatam. But look at how many verses. 8.13 is quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Then again 9.17. All these verses are explaining the importance of the syllable Om. Then 17.23. So many verses. And then we recently read in the kids class 7.8 also, which may be coming. Punyo Gandham Prithiviyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavashu. Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. Pranava, the same Pranava means the Omkar, as we are reading here. So many verses in the Bhagavad Gita talk about the Om, which is again a transcendental sound, and Prabhupada shares here it's not different from chanting Hare Krishna at the time of death. And therefore, so many verses, Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama, Om Tat Sat, Om Tad Vishnu, Parampam Padam, so many verses uh, begin with Om. I mean, if we take the word out, the Om word, so many, verses will be kind of, the beginning is from the word Om. But the Hare Krishna mantra is even more special because it has direct names of the Lord. Like for example, Om Keshavaya Namaha. All words are transcendental, but the word Keshav is the most important there. But in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are directly, it's like, direct. There's no like sandwich, bread here, bread there, and maybe cheese inside. It's all full of like cheese. No pulp, no, nothing else. All direct names of the Lord. Therefore, uh, although it's not wrong to chant Om, I mean, there's so many verses, so many we chant, but the prime mantra is the Hare Krishna mantra. Sometimes devotees chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Keshavaya. All this is fine, absolutely fine. There's no issue. But our main focus is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Pranava Sarva Mahavakya. This is Ishvara Swarupa. There's no difference. It's a direct representation of the Supreme Lord, Omkar. And it's also mentioned how the personal acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya kind of broke the teeth of the Mayavadi philosophy. Basically, using the personal philosophy, gave the right understanding. So let's read further from here. Anyone wants to read a few paragraphs?
I can read Prabhuji. Arjun devotees, Dhan Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Throughout all the Vedic literatures, the glories of Omkara are specifically mentioned. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his thesis, Bhagavat Sandarbha, says that in the Vedic literature, Omkar is considered to be the sound vibration of the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only this vibration of transcendental sound can deliver a conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. Sometimes Omkar is also called the deliverer Tar. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the Omkara vibration. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Therefore, Omkara has been described by the great commentator Sridhara Shiva Swami as Tarankura. Right. Okay, sorry. Tarankura, the seed of deliverance from the material world. Since the Supreme Godhead is absolute, His holy name and His sound vibration Omkar are as good as He Himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the holy name or Omkar, the transcendental representation of the Supreme Personal Godhead, has all the potencies of the personality of Godhead. Nam Nam Akuri Bohuda Nijo Sarvashoktis Tatra Apiyata Niyamita Sharana Kalo. All potencies are invested in the holy vibration of the holy name of the Lord. There is no doubt that the holy name of the Lord or Omkara is the Supreme Personal Godhead Himself. In other words, anyone who chants Omkara and the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, immediately meets the Supreme Lord directly in His sound form. In the Narad Pancharatro, it is clearly said that the Supreme Person of Godhead, Narayan, personally appears before the chanter who engages in chanting the Ashtakshara or 8-syllable mantra, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana. A similar statement in the Mandukya Upanishad declares that whatever one sees in the spiritual world is all an expansion of the spiritual potency of Omkara. Back to Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This verse is, Prabhupada is giving such a detailed purport, explaining more glories of, that basically it's non-different from the Lord. Om is not a material sound. It's non-different, right? As we just read, it's non-different. It's to be considered the sound vibration of the holy name of the Supreme Lord. So all our acharyas are mentioning, Narada Muni is mentioning, Jiva Goswami is mentioning, the word Om comes in so many of these verses. So in short, we don't need to change anything, but understanding is important. Right? Understanding is important. Like if someone says, "Oh, I'm chanting Om Keshavaya Namah," that's fine. We don't discourage anyone from chanting that, but of course, we are the Hare Krishna movement. We will certainly encourage them to chant maybe one round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra also. Because this is the mantra given, by the Supreme Lord for this time and age. There are many Vedic mantras which not any Tom, Dick, Harry should be chanting. Like the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra has special, potency. All the names of the Lord have potency. But the special thing about the Hare Krishna mantra is that it can be chanted at any time, any place, anyone and everyone, right? But we can't chant a lot of Vedic mantras, maybe in the bathroom, right? Or maybe an cremation place, right? So there are some rules and regulations for the Vedic mantras. But for the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the Yoga Dharma, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, this mantra given by Lord Chaitanya himself is certainly our key shelter. Any other thoughts, comments so far?
So as Prabhuji said, that Prabhupada clearly declares that even the Hare Krishna mantra, even a child or even a dog can participate. So it is so easy for this Kali Yuga, even for a dog and child can participate. Back to Prabhuji.
Very well. Thank you for sharing that. So nice. Even one of my recent one devotee was recently sharing, oh, my grandmother died and I can't do certain things and stuff. But holy name, Hare Krishna mantra, everyone can chant and one should not stop. Right. In fact, that's the best thing one can do for the departed person. They'll get so much, the person will get so much benefit, the departed relative will get so much benefit. But sometimes we get like too much caught up in the rituals and forget the essence. Sarva mantra sar a shastra marma. The shastra marma, the conclusion of the shastra is the holy name. Okay, we'll read further. Yes, Shriva Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. On the basis of all the Upanishads, Srila Jiva Goswami says that Omkara is the supreme absolute truth and is accepted as such by all the acharyas and authorities. Omkara is beginningless, changeless, supreme, and free from deterioration and external contamination. Omkara is the origin, middle and end of everything, and any living entity who thus understands Omkara attains the perfection of spiritual identity in Omkara. Omkara, being situated in everyone's heart, is Ishwar, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.61. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Omkara is as good as Vishnu because Omkara is as all-pervasive as Vishnu. One who knows Omkara and Lord Vishnu to be identical no longer has to lament or hanker. One who chants Omkara no longer remains a Shudra, but immediately comes to the position of Brahmana. Simply by chanting Omkara, one can understand the whole creation to be one unit or an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Lord. Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Vivetaro Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is Himself the cosmos, and still He is aloof from it. From Him only this cosmic manifestation has emanated. In Him it rests, and unto Him it enters after annihilation. Bhagavatam 1.5.20. Although one who does not understand concludes otherwise, Srimad Bhagavatam states that the entire cosmic manifestation is but an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Lord. Realization of this is realization of this. Sorry, I lost it. Realization of this is possible simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Omkara. Should I continue, Prabhupada? One should not, however, foolishly conclude that because the Supreme Personality of God is omnipotent, we have manufactured a combination of letters A, U, and M to represent Him. Factually, the transcendental sound Omkara, although a combination of the three letters A, U, and M, has transcendental potency, and one who chants Omkara will very soon realize Omkara and Lord Vishnu to be non-different. Krishna declares, Pranava Sarva Videshtu. I am the syllable Om in the Vedic Vedeshu. I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantra. Bhagavad Gita 7.8. One should therefore conclude that among the many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Omkara is the sound incarnation. All the Vedas accept this thesis. One should always remember that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are always identical. Abhinnatvan Nama Naminoh. Since Omkara is the basic principle of all Vedic knowledge, it is uttered before one begins to chant any Vedic hymn. Without Omkara, no Vedic mantra is successful. The Goswamis therefore declare that Pranava, Omkara, is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they have analyzed Omkara in terms of its alphabetical constituents as follows. A. Karenuchyate Krishna Sarva Lokaika Nayakah. U. Can you? Yes. U. Karenuchyate Radha Ma Karo Jiva Vachakah. Omkara is a combination of letters A, U, and M. A. Karanochyate Krishna, the letter A, Akar, refers to Krishna, who is Sarva Lokaika Nayaka, the master of all living entities and planets, material and spiritual. Nayaka means leader. He is the supreme leader, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. The letter U, Ukar, indicates Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Krishna, and M, Makar, indicates the living entities, jivas. Thus, Om is the complete combination of Krishna, his potency, and his eternal servitors. In other words, Omkara represents Krishna, his name, fame, pastimes, entourage, expansions, devotees, potencies, and everything else pertaining to him. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu states in the present verse of Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Sarva Vishwadham, Omkar, Sarva Vishwadham, Omkara is the resting place of everything, just as Krishna is the resting place of everything. Brahmano hi Pratishthana. The Mayavadi philosophers consider many Vedic mantras to be the Maya Vakya, or principal Vedic mantra, such as Tattvamasi
Let's
chanting.
pause here as well. A lot
Yeah.
to.
Oh. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
This verse is basically giving a detailed analysis of the word Om. So, any thoughts so far? Anyone wants to share?
So Puji, Omkara is non-different than the Krishna himself, is the sound form of incarnation of Lord Krishna. And if we chant Omkar, and there's actually group who just chants only Omkar. And I had a physician friend, he belongs to that group. So if chants sincerely, they also get same benefit as you do the Mahamantra. But Mahamantra we do as Chaitanya himself given us that mantra. Back to Puji.
Wonderful. So it's spiritual sound. It's not a material sound. And as we discussed, it includes everything. It includes the name of Lord, the dham, the name, form, dham, energies, qualities. It includes everything. We just read it right here. As we see, we'll analyze this. So what is the word AUM? So who is giving this analysis? The Goswamis therefore declare its complete representation. It's complete representation. But there is a catch here also, because there are a lot of people actually who chant Om. But when they chant Om, you know, in their mind or their heart, there is no clue of Krishna. They are not talking about, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme, Govinda, the Supreme Murli Vadana, the Supreme Master of all the that exist, the cowherd boy, the butter thief. They're not thinking of all that. So we have to be a little careful. It's, a personalist devotee understands that the Om includes everything, as we are reading here from the purports of the Srila Prabhupada and the other acharyas. But most people, unfortunately, those who chant Om, okay, and I was doing that too. I used to go to Arya Samaj and this and that. They had big letters Om, as they're like, they had no deities, they don't believe in deity, they don't believe in Radha Krishna, they don't believe in any other, believe in big Om, right? Even the impersonalists like the Brahma Kumaris and all, they believe in Om, right? And they believe, okay, our goal is to merge in Om. The goal is to merge in that light. Okay, focus on Om, blue light, red light, this light, that. I used to do all that actually at some point when I was maybe a early teenager. So we have to be a little careful. Now we're not saying is okay, everything is one, right? Yes, the Om has the spiritual qualities and everything, and it will help. But if one chants with that understanding, that's much different from then someone chanting in the desire to merge in the impersonal Brahman. Um, Therefore, in our ISKCON, you may notice that we don't put a lot of emphasis on this, right? I mean, yes, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, we chant some mantras, Om Tat Sat, but it's not our key mantra, right? Om, 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 right? It's not like we're like repeating that. And Om is very, very sacred, very, very divine, very, very special. Even for those who are from like the Sikh, have some understanding of the Sikh, over there also say Ikonkar, Satnam, right? Like Vaheguru, all these words, they have also this Ikonkar. So that's also the Omkar right there. So now let's analyze the words one by one. A, U, and M. Hmm. So what does the word A mean here? Anyone recalls? We just read.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, the word A is Krishna, or the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Nayaka, as mentioned here. सर्व लोक नायक सभी लोकों का नायक है नायक खलनायक hero, the master, the enjoyer. He's the hero of all the planets, all that exist. A karena uchyate Krishna, who is the master of all that exists. All means all living entities, all planets, all material, spiritual. Nayak, he's the leader, he's the hero. So what is the word you? So we can say supreme leader of all. The word used is Nayaka, Sarvaloka Nayaka. The word you refers to?
Radha.
Srimati Radharani.
Radharani.
Yeah, the internal potency or Sri Radharani. And the word Ma is the
Jiva.
The Jivas.
Jiva or the living entity. So which is referred to the marginal potency. So you u karen uchyate radha ma karo jiva vachakaha. So a u ma om right. So now when we chant, this should be our mood. Not only that, om, this is very, very important. So Krishna, his potency, his servitors, Omkar represents his name, his fame, his pastime, his entourage, expansions, devotees, potencies, everything pertaining to him. This is so important, is it not? Omkar, the word Omkar represents everything. Sarva Vishwadham. Omkar is a resting place of everything. Which verse is being referred here? This verse, Sarva Vishwadham. Ishvara Swarupa Pranava Sarva Vishwadham. It's a resting place of all the things. What is a resting place? Pranavaha. It is Ishvara Swarupa. Namaste Studamne Sfuradipti Dhamne Twadiyodharayatha Vishwasya Dhamne. Right? Is that comes there? That your belly is the resting place of everything. That's what we see. This is the resting place of all. So in short, it's not different from the Supreme Lord. As we are Namaste Studamni Sfuradipti Dhamne Tvadiyo Darayatha Vishwasya Dhamne. So Omkar is the resting place. Now, we just read, just copying, pasting that line. So it represents everything, Krishna, his name, his form, his everything pertaining to him is basically the word Omkara. I think that's a better way to write it. So I'll just. Now there's a beautiful verse which we chant, right? Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tad Alaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Is it not? Now, interestingly, you see Krishnaya, right? Krishna Bhaktaya, right? Guruve, right? Who are basically expansions or energies. Guruve Gaurachandraya, his entourage, Gaurachandra, Guruve Gaurachandraya, Radhika, energy again, Tadalaye, their expansion, their dham, Guruve Gaurachandraya, Radhikaya Tadalaye, Krishnaya, Krishna Bhaktaya, Tad Bhaktaya, Namo Namaha. So in short, Omkar is basically a shortcut or a short form of all that. in another way, that verse is a short form of the entire Mangalacharan, and Omkar is the word Om is another way to say all that. But now, by the mercy of Prabhupada, when we say Omkar or the word Om, we'll have a much deeper understanding. We're referring to Krishna, his name, his form, Radharani, living entities, devotees, Guru, potencies, Dham, Vrindavan, Mayapur, right? Anything connection, everything pertaining to him. His name, form, Rama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, everything is there, right? So beautifully explained. Any other thoughts, any comments here?
Prabhuji, I had a question.
Yes, Mata.
Prabhuji, so I think it's a very nice question, but I'm confused. So, Krishna and his potency and the Jiva souls who are created from his superior energy are included, but the material world which is created through his inferior energy are in which M or U, in which of them will that fall? Back to the question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your thoughtful question. So, I mean, if I say where is it included, it is not very clearly mentioned. I mean, we can say you may include here that ultimately Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwara, Sarvaloka Nayaka here. So as Prabhupada is mentioning that the master of all living entities. So it's not like direct mention that this letter represents Krishna's material energy, but this letter represents Krishna, who is the master of all the material and the spiritual, the inferior and the superior energy. And to conclude, Prabhupada is mentioning that includes everything, his expansions, because ultimately, is there anything in this world which is not pertaining to Krishna? No. Therefore, Om includes everything, matter, spirit, everything. Now, which letter? Don't I would say don't over analyze it. Yeah, that's my thought.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, let's read further. Yes, Shilpa Mataji, you want to complete the purport here?
Yes, Prabhuji, sure. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhu, one kind of follow-up question to what Mataji asked. Just to confirm, the Jiva wouldn't, the material energy, exterior energy, inferior energy will not fall under the Jiva for sure, right? Or we shouldn't be comparing to get a similarity. What? Just want to hear from you, Prabhu.
All I would say is I don't know, so I don't want to say what I don't know.
Got it, Prabhu.
Right, so yeah, even this itself is such a revelation, right?
Yeah. Sure, Prabhuji. Sure. Thank you. Thank you for your honest reply.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Haribol. So from the Mayavadis, right, Prabhu? I should read. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, devotees. The Mayavadi philosophers consider many Vedic mantras to be the Maya Vakya or principal Vedic mantra such as Tattvam Asi, Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.7,
idam sarvam yat ayam atma, and brahmedam sarvam. Brahad Aranyaka Upanishad 2.5.1. Atmai Vedam Sarvam, Chandognya Upanishad 7.25.2, and Neha Nanasti Kinchana, Katha Upanishad 2.1.11. This is a great mistake. Only Omkara is the Mahavakya. All these other mantras that the Mayavadis accept as the Mahavakya are only incidental. They cannot be taken as the Mahavakya or Mahamantra. The mantra Tat Tvam Asi indicates only a partial understanding of the Vedas, unlike Omkara, which represents the full understanding of the Vedas. Therefore, the transcendental sound that includes all Vedic knowledge is Omkara, Pranava. Aside from Omkara, none of the words are uttered by the followers of Shankaracharya can be considered the Mahavakya. They are merely passing remarks. Shankaracharya, however, has never stressed chanting of the Mahavakya Omkara. He has accepted only Tat Tvam Asi as the Mahavakya. Imagining the living entity to be God, he has misrepresented all the mantras of the Vedanta Sutra with the motive of proving that there is no separate existence of the living entities and the Supreme Absolute Truth. This is similar to the politician's attempt to prove non-violence from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is violent to demons, and to attempt to prove that Krishna is non-violent is ultimately to deny Krishna. As such, As such explanations of the Bhagavad Gita are absurd, so also is Shankaracharya's explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, and no sane and responsible men will accept it. At present, however, the Vedanta Sutra is misrepresented not only by the so-called Vedantis, but also by other unscriptuous or scrupulous persons who are so degraded that they even recommend that sannyasis eat meat, fish, and eggs. In this way, the so-called followers of Shankara, the impersonalist Mayavadis, are sinking lower and lower. How can these degraded men explain the Vedanta Sutra, which is the essence of all Vedic literature? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has declared, Mayavadi Bhashya. Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile Haya Sarvanasa. Anyone who hears commentary on the Vedanta Sutra from the Mayavada school is completely doomed. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedasya Chaham Vedaischa Sarve Ahameva Vedya. All Vedic literature aims at understanding Krishna. Mayavada philosophy, however, has deviated everyone from Krishna. Therefore, there is a great need for Krishna consciousness movement all over the world to save the world from degradation. Every intelligent and sane man must abandon the philosophical explanation of Mayavadis and accept the explanation of Vaishnava Acharyas. One should read Bhagavad Gita as it is to try to understand the real purport of the Vedas. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any comments, Mataji? Thank you for reading.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. Two cents to what I understood, but please correct me. Here, yesterday also I read the similar purport from Prabhupada. I feel like this is a continuation of of explaining what Shankaracharya explained, and Prabhupada is like fully 100% condemned, opposing the Mayavadi philosophy, and not just to what Shankaracharya said, but the followers of Shankaracharya are getting even more degraded because they are misinterpreting what Mayavadi philosophy is, or sorry, Vedanta is, and on top of it, because they are not following the Guru Parampara, they are even more degraded. Here, Prabhupada gave examples that they are having meat, fish, and so forth. So they are even falling down. So it's very, very much important that we take action and spread Krishna consciousness to give the real meaning of Vedanta, which means Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita 15.15 that he is the source of all Vedas, which means Vedanta Sutra is directly pointing to Krishna. But Mayavadis and Adi Shankaracharya explain that there is no separation. The Jiva and the Paramatma are the same, which is wrong, contradictory. So we have to take action, be part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and help the society. Please correct me, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your compassionate mood and following the mood of Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada. Yes, there is a lot of confusion in the society. Yes, there is a lot of confusion on the name of religion, on the name of Omkar, on the name of what's right. Mayavadi philosophy is still very much prevalent. And what to speak of Mayavadi, then even lower than that, like gross atheism or just completely denying the scriptures. So the world certainly needs more sincere devotees to be role models, to spread the light of bhakti, the joy of bhakti, the sweetness of bhakti. Mahavakya, Shankaracharya never stressed the chanting of the Mahavakya Omkar. Important point here. So as Prabhupada is saying, none of the other words uttered by the followers of Shankaracharya can be considered as Mahavakya. And that which is the Mahavakya, they didn't stress it. Like, what did they stress? Tattvam asi, tat, that, tvam, you, asi, you are that. So you are that, you become that, you merge into that impersonal. Dandadharina, Matrena, Narayan Bhavit, you will be that. Soham, right? I am that. Soham. So one time, as well as Bhakti Samrit Swami Maharaj was explaining that this point. One person went to impersonalist. He gave him the mantra Soham. What does that mean? Soham, I am that, right? So then he went to a devotee, Krishna conscious devotee. He said, okay, you add the word da before so, then you become dasoham. I'm the servant of that Supreme Lord, in short. I'm the servant of that. And then he went to again to the impersonalist. He said, okay, you add the word so again before him. So you become sodasoham, right? That I am again the master. I am that whose servant is everyone. And he went to devotee. And he says, you add one more da before it. So you become dasa, dasoham. And the servant of the servant of the servant of that. So, and then he realized it's not going to end in das. So that's our mood, right? We don't want to compete with God. We don't want to be God. God is one. Krishna is God. Krishna Purna Purushottam Bhagwan. Ekaleshwara Krishna or Sabhritya. We don't want to compete with him. That's not our position. Gopis, the pure devotees, are not trying to compete with God. They're trying to assist God. They're trying to care, love God. So I really like this story. um, so same with Tattvamasi. This also, I am that, right? So we can add the word Dasatvam, right? We are the servant of that, right? Dasatvam. So any other thoughts, comments? I know it's a long purport, but it's we cover a lot, like detailed discussion about Om and so many verses. Prabhupada quotes at least maybe 5-6 more verses about Omkar. And then we discuss the AUM as well and how it basically includes everything, which Krishna's name, form, qualities, energies, devotees, entourage, and anything and everything. So now when we chant or even when we hear the word Om, we should have this, personal kind of understanding of this word, not seeing some yellow light, blue light, red light, we have the source of all lights, Sarva Lokanayaka, as we read, Sarva Vishwadham, Sarva Vishwadham, that's Krishna, Ishvara Swarupa Pranava. It's not different, it's us from the Supreme Lord, direct representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should see the form of Supreme Lord, the bluish form of Lord, not some random light. Any comments, thoughts, questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to add one which came into my thought. Prabhupada is so compassionate. Usually we see some gurus or who are pretty adamant in their group, so they want their own sishyas to be their followers, basically, not even sishyas. They think that okay, I have these many followers, so I'm so and so guru and so forth. So they are they focus only on their followers. They don't want to lose their followers and so forth. But here Prabhupada is thinking about Shankaracharya giving enlightening about the truth, as well as thinking about the devotees who are following the Shankaracharya's explanation and so forth, that they are getting even more falling down. So we need to uplift them, take care of them. They take care of them as well. Somehow it comes to my heart that Prabhupada is so compassionate. He's considering each and every soul, jiva, to be part of this. So we need to be part of the movement to help them who don't know the actual truth. Just wanted to share, Prabhuji. It felt really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. That is nice mood. And we need to carefully do that because if like a pure devotee like Prabhupada can preach to anyone, but if a neophyte like myself, we may sometimes, like it's like the match of kabaddi. Their understanding or their conviction of Mayavadi philosophy or Shastra may be much stronger than my faith in Krishna consciousness. So you have to see carefully balance. Therefore, Prabhupada, the Lord Krishna says we should preach to the innocent. Those who say, okay, I know what's right, I know what's best, I know what's going to be right. Okay, then we just say Hare Krishna, take this prasad, Hari Bol. So that fine line, that enthusiasm is good. Oh, I want to make the whole world a devotee. That's enthusiasm is good, but we have to see some practical aspect. Like some are not ready yet to receive it. For them, we just give them some candy, some cookie, and say Hare Krishna and move on, because we have limited time, energy, and you know, I really like your compassionate outreach more. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. You always think the best. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing. Haribol.
Thank you. Yes, Devaki Mataji, thank you for
Hare
joining.
Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. Prabhuji, which verse we are reading from? Which verse?
Right now, Caitanya Caritamrita 7.128 Adi Lila. We just completed that verse. It was a long purport about
Thank you.
the syllable Om.
7, chapter 7. Prabhuji, yesterday I had a long
Thank you.
discussion about this Omkar, whether when we merge with God. Just in this analysis that we took, Om, A-U-M. Then the last one is Jiva, isn't it? As if it explains the same, no? Krishna and the Jiva merges together, all the three together, no? Maybe this is there, because a long discussion it was. He said, Mataji, I read the Bhagavad Gita by heart. I follow my guru. So he was telling like this. But then if we take this Om, A-U-M, no? Jiva also is merged into that. Maybe this is the conclusion for them. When we say Om, no? When we say Om, it's Krishna, Radha, and Jiva. Maybe their point of view is like that.
Yes, Mataji, we just read that in this purport, yeah. Krishna, Radharani, and the Jiva, A-U-M. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I think in the interest of time, we'll pause here and continue tomorrow. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktarvrinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo Tanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Bol.